Good morning and welcome back to the channel. We're in the garage again and we're going to start on some more metal work on the note. Let you see what we're working on today. Today is floor panels. Now, as you can see, I've already gone ahead and replaced the passenger side floor panel. I cut out the old one, welded in this new piece that I got from Auto Metal Direct. Fit really nice, got it all stitched and welded. Got it all welded all the way around. I still need to get some seam sealer to fill in the gaps around the rocker panel. So today we're going to work on the driver's side. And the reason I didn't record that side was that was kind of my test piece to make sure I knew what was going on, knew what I was going to be getting myself into, because this side is worse. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, it may not look terrible, but if you can see, there's a seam there. When I was in high school, I replaced a lot of this floor up to about here. Right here is original panel. But you can also see here that I patched in a good section of the rocker because the rocker is actually in pretty poor shape. The outer rocker has got quite a bit of rust in it. And more importantly, if you look underneath, this is where I patched in the rocker, and it's kind of a hack job. It does not look good by any means. There's still holes in the bottom of the rocker there, so rather than have it all kind of hacked together like this, I want to just start over and get fresh, clean floor panels in here like I did over there. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and take this seat out. I'm gonna cut off the brackets that I made for it, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna go about cutting all this out. So now that we got the seat out, we can get a better look at what we got to do. Like I said, this back part is not in terrible shape, but I'm going to go ahead and replace it anyway because I bought the whole floor pan. So the way I'm going to cut this out is I'm going to lay the new floor pan in place just on top of the old one, and I'm going to make a Sharpie line across the perimeter of the new panel. And what that's going to do is tell me roughly where the new panel comes up to, and then I'm going to come down maybe another inch or 2 inches inside of that, because the new panel obviously just sitting on top is not going to be sitting low enough in its final position, so the lines will be off a little bit. If I were to cut it on those trace lines, there would end up being a gap once the panel comes down and sits where it's supposed to sit. So I'm going to trace around the perimeter, I'm going to trace around where those brackets are, and then I'm going to use the plasma cutter to cut out the big sections before I come back with a spot driller to drill out all the spot welds and peel up the rest of the floor panel. Okay, so you can see I've got my Sharpie lines traced around the new panel all the way around, and like I said, I'm not going to cut on this line. I'm going to cut a little bit lower, maybe like an inch or 2 inches below. That way, once all this is out of the way, the new panel can sit flat on the braces and the cross members, and that line will actually come down a little bit. Once I've got that down sitting on the cross members, I'm going to sheet metal screw it to the braces to suck it down as far down as it'll go where it needs to sit. That way, the line of the new metal overlapping the old metal, I'll be able to use a cutoff wheel and make a nice clean line all the way across and stitch it together in pieces. That should avoid any big gaps, give me a nice consistent panel gap all the way around to make sure that my welds are nice and don't have to fill any holes. It's what I did on this side, and it came out pretty good.
Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
All right, after much struggle, you saw me going back and forth with the plasma cutter and the cutoff wheel and the air hammer with the chisel on it. I've got the floor pretty much all the way out. These are those braces I was telling you about. Now, you can see here in the front how much damage there was to the rocker. When I was a kid, I cut this out and put a kind of a patch there. But you can see this is the inner rocker here, and it gets attached to the outer rocker. That's what goes on the outside. This is all messed up to the outer rocker, at least here at the end. There's not too much damage inside here, but you can see like right here, that's the outer rocker. This is what the inner rocker would weld to, and the rust has kind of gotten all the way through. I don't know if you can see my finger through that little hole there. So I'm gonna definitely need an outer rocker. I'm probably only gonna patch in from that right there forward as far as the inner rocker to replace all this structure and everything that the floor will attach to. As you can see, I've already got a new inner rocker here. This lays in pretty much just like this. This will slide in between that brace. So it attaches up there to the toe board, comes all the way back here and ties into the wheel arch, which there's nothing wrong with the section of inner rocker there. So I'm just gonna probably pick a good spot right here, make a nice straight cut, butt it all back together and save myself having to separate the floor from the rocker back here. And then The outer rocker, like I was telling you earlier, it's got a bunch of rust holes here that I was planning on just, you know, cutting out patch panels and fixing that way. But since the attachment lip seems to be all messed up too, so I don't want to replace the back, but that's where all those holes are. So, you know, I might as well, or at the very least, I'll section it out to fix as much of that as possible with one piece of metal. I'm gonna go ahead and work on cutting out what's left of the inner rocker and start welding in that new piece. All right, after a lot of struggling, I finally got the inner rocker out. You saw me drilling out all the spot welds where it attaches to the outer rocker, both on the top and the bottom in here. Use the spot weld cutter to do that all the way up to the front. This is where the rocker attaches to at the front, which, as you can see, is kind of mangled. But if I'm not mistaken, this is part of the new floorboard. The floorboard goes up a little bit higher than that. So I'm gonna have to patch in this piece where the rocker attaches to make sure that it's got a good solid attachment point. This is the part that's I'm primarily concerned with, the inner part of the outer rocker. So I'm gonna end up replacing this whole part because, as you can see, there's just holes all inside it, and more importantly, this lip is what the inner rocker would attach to. So there's not much point in replacing the inner rocker if I can't really weld it to anything, because this is all rotted out. However, what I am going to do first is I'm going to put the new inner rocker in place, and I'm going to weld it to whatever is still salvageable of the rocker panel itself. I'm gonna do my best to do a good solid weld here all along the top of this and build up the structure in there for it to attach to the front part of the floor. I'm gonna put the floors in and weld it all solid. And the reason I'm gonna do that before I even touch this outer rocker is because the Nova being a unibody car, there's no frame. The frame rail stops right there. So the structure of the car is the body itself. And more than anything, the rockers. This whole assembly, both on this side and that side, and the roof, keeps the whole car from kind of collapsing on itself. The floor also. So I don't want to take away too much structure before I add something else in. So I'm going to have the floor in place. I'm going to have the inner rocker in place, welded in as many places as I can to keep the structure of the car solid before I cut out this outer rocker and replace it. So for now that I've got this out, I'm going to clean up my surfaces where you can see there's still some spot weld left. Make sure this is all clean. That way I can lay my new rocker panel in place and see where I need to add structure in order to get this attached nice and solid. Alright guys, unfortunately I'm all out of welding gas, so I'm gonna have to call it a day and close out this video here. As you can see, I've gotten the floor just about completely welded in all around the transmission tunnel. Got a couple little gaps to finish up here, there. Oh, I gotta make a couple little patch panels up here in the toe board area. All this is all welded in solid. I'll get some seam sealer for this section. But yeah, we're pretty much done. Got a couple holes in the transmission tunnel still to fill up. I'll finish. I'm gonna clean up this shifter hole, make that a little bit nicer. But the floor's just about done. So next episode is gonna be something pretty exciting, and that's seats. So these are the seats that I've had in this car for quite a long time. You can see there's cigarette holes in it. They're dirty, they're stained, they're cloth, they're mechanical. I never really liked them, but I went to the junkyard and found myself a nice set of leather seats, powered and climate controlled. I got the whole set, driver and passenger, and I got the rear bench seats that, after some initial measurements, looks like I'm going to be able to make fit. But I'm going to make a video kind of showing you how I'm going to get these to fit in the car. I'm also going to be making a custom wiring harness to get the TEDs to work. So I'll have heated and air conditioned seats in the Nova. So that's what's going to be coming up here next. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and we'll see you on the next one.